I'm Christopher Zweig, and today on CJ at the Movies, I review some new films, including the new Saw spin-off starring Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, Amy Adams and Julianne Moore in the new psychological thriller, and an Irish film about two Americans falling in love. Let's take a look. Our first movie is Spiral, the spin-off of the Saw franchise, which is essentially a remake of the original where we have the main detective played by a celebrity, who in this case is Chris Rock, an introduction of the killer who is trying to keep Jigsaw's legacy alive with spiral symbols, and all the gruesome torture porn fans are polarized about. Rock does a good job portraying the main detective, who is the son of the former chief played by Samuel L. Jackson, and decides to take the lead of the case when his best friend, another detective, is murdered.
How can I catch this guy? If there's nobody on the force, I can bust!
You can't do this alone.
Whoever did this has another motive. Something personal.
When was the last time you saw your father?
When Rock is on screen, he provides his character with real anger and poetry, but even if he's credited as an executive producer, he sells himself short by having a mean streak. I'm sure Spiral will reach the #1 spot at the weekend box office, as did all the Saw movies, but what are we really seeing anyway? Blood and gore? It's the same crap, and it's unwatchable here, so skip it. Our next movie is even worse than Spiral. In fact, it's the first Poison for the Mind film I saw this year called The Woman in the Window. It was supposed to come out in theaters last year, as did most of the movies, but it found its way on Netflix this year, and it's a sad ripoff of Rear Window. Amy Adams stars as a child psychiatrist and an agoraphobic meeting her new neighbor played by Julianne Moore, whom she witnesses being stabbed to death across the street. Adams calls the police, and the husband, Gary Oldman, confirms that it wasn't his wife, and his is played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. She knows what she saw and is willing to go deeper to get to the bottom of this.
Your doctor said that your meds can cause hallucinations.
Why are you protecting them? They're all hiding something. Her earring, it's in their house.
The Woman in the Window was directed by Joe Wright in his first feature since Darkest Hour, and it's also his first bomb since Pan. It's a psychological thriller that has stupid dialogue, lousy characters, wasted talents, and just about every cliche in the psychological thriller book. Adams is one of my mom's favorite actresses, as is mine, but she fails to ignite flames here and flounders about looking like a crazy person. This is one of the worst movies of the year, so skip it. And our next movie is Finding You, and it's marginally better than the last two movies on this show, but it still sells itself short. It tells the story of an aspiring violinist played by Rose Reed, who meets a handsome movie star played by Jedediah Goodacre, both of whom are en route to Ireland. She's studying down there while he's in the middle of filming the 4th chapter of a Game of Thrones type movie. At first it's obligatory that the girl isn't thrilled with him, especially since they're both staying at the same B&B, but they eventually warm up to each other.
Well, I'll be your personal tour guide. Trust me.
I don't. Is that Beckett?
Come on.
If it isn't my favourite fella.
Drinks are on me!
Right, Joel, we've got a fine young fiddle player in the audience.
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, just after you play.
Now, it doesn't matter what the notes are, it's how you play them.
Finley Sinclair, you're actually not so bad when you decide to have some fun.
You're not so bad yourself.
But we don't even like each other.
We're just too different.
There's also a subplot with Vanessa Redgrave as a dying woman who wants to reunite with her estranged sister, and the girl is willing to help her. Finding You has its heart in the right place when we meet these two individuals who have issues of their own, and the actors who portray them are likable when we reach those grounds. But the movie relies on all these routine situations and some goofy characters to keep things bouncing along. Parts of Finding You made me feel good, while the other parts lack the look of the Irish. It should have been more original and lively instead of taking us to familiar territories, so skip it. Now let's recap the movies I reviewed today. Thumbs down for Spiral, which relies on the same old blood and gore we've seen in the Saw franchise. Thumbs down, way down for The Woman in the Window. And thumbs down for Finding You, which has its heart in the right place but lacks the look of the Irish. I'm Christopher Zweig. Stay safe and I'll see you at the movies. For more amazing content, please like and subscribe to my channels. You can also read my reviews at cjatthemovies.com and listen to my podcast reviews at newhdradio.com.